Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Voices of the Forgotten. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia still stands like a wounded giant, its stone walls towering over the small town. Cracked and gray, soaked with over a century of pain. Once a symbol of hope, when it opened in 1864, it was built to treat only 250 patients, but by the 1950s, over 2,000 souls were crammed inside, lost to madness, cruelty, and neglect. They called it a hospital, but those who lived and died within its walls knew better. In the summer of 1978, a young nurse named Diane took her first job there. She wanted to help, to make a difference. The head doctor told her not to listen to the noises at night. He said the building had a way of playing tricks on new staff, but Diane soon learned that those weren't tricks. Every night, as the clock struck midnight, the voices began. Whispers seeped through the vents, soft at first, calling her name. Sometimes she heard laughter, sometimes sobbing. The cries came from wards that had been closed for years. She would find doors unlocked that had been chained the night before, lights flickering on in the empty hallways, and the sound of footsteps pacing above her when no one was there. One night, while doing rounds in Ward C, the violent ward, she found a single patient sitting in a corner, mumbling to himself. His name was Thomas, an old man with cloudy eyes and trembling hands. When Diane approached, he whispered, "They don't like the dark. That's when they talk to us." Before she could ask what he meant, the power went out. The hallway plunged into blackness. Diane froze as the air turned icy cold. From the shadows came faint murmurs, hundreds of voices overlapping. Men, women, children, some were crying, others pleading. One voice stood out, soft, desperate, and close. "Help us. Don't forget us." The emergency lights flickered on for a split second, and Diane saw them rows of figures standing behind her, their faces pale and twisted in anguish. Then, darkness again. When the power returned minutes later, Thomas was gone. His restraints lay empty on the floor. The walls around her were covered in scratch marks, fresh, deep, and bleeding dust. Diane fled down the hall, hearing her name whispered over and over, following her like an echo that refused to die. The next morning, she tried to tell her supervisor, but he only sighed. "You're not the first to hear them," he said quietly. "Some of the staff never stopped." Years later, after the asylum closed in 1994, ghost hunters and tourists began visiting. Some reported seeing a nurse wandering the halls, her flashlight flickering, her voice trembling as she whispered for help. Others claimed to have recorded whispers on their equipment, faint but clear. "We still here." The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum remains a monument to the forgotten thousands who were silenced, buried, and left behind. And when the night is still, the wind carries their voices through the broken windows, crying out to anyone who dares to listen. Because in that place, the patients may have been forgotten by the world, but their voices never stopped calling.